I'm ready to present you next great speaker. Today we have with us Mark Valasik from Slovakia. He's a head of marketing at Kontentino. Mark has a deep passion for thinking outside the box and honesty. He believes it is the key to every successful relationship, business relationship including. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hi, Anton. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I think that your insights that you can share during our today conference, they can be really helpful for our audience. Can you start?
I hope so. And yeah, I'll start. Let me share my screen then.
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. Hello, everyone. Then, and let me welcome you on behalf of Contentino, the social media management tool that serves over 7,000 agencies and brands all over the world, to my presentation that I decided to call "How Brands Should Not Collaborate with Creators." Why this name? You'll learn in a moment. As both mentioned, my name is Mark Valasik or Mark. Everyone calls me that. And if you're interested in connecting or anything that will be said here, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. So let's start. What to expect in the next 20 minutes or so. This slide is made for people who have been sent here by their employees and employers and are expected to bring in some value and like some notes. So here are the notes for you. Do branded integrations with creators. Do not do detailed briefs and over detailed briefs. And don't neglect approval process. That's the entire presentation. You're welcome. And for those of you who are interested in learning more, let's get to the next slide. Before we do that, though, let's let's explain or let's set some ground rules for what we are gonna talk about and who we are gonna talk what and who we're gonna name what. Because I will be talking about content creators and influencers, and there's a big stark difference between these two. Although some companies and most media like to combine them into one name, and that's influencers. So, who are them and how to distinguish them, right? On the left one, you can see Zach King, who's the YouTuber, content creator, and TikTok video magician who does magic to integrate his branded integrations into his videos, right? This one's for TikTok. On the right one, on the right side, we have Kylie Jenner, who's famous for being famous, mostly. Also, she done some business work, of course, but her integrations with brands are much less intricate, much less thought through compared to, for example, Zach King. So it's pretty clear and pretty easy to distinguish that Zach is on the left is the content creator and Kali on the right is the influencer. They both influence to purchase the products that they are showcasing in the brand integrations, but there's a stark difference in the content creation process and their approach, right? So why is it important to differentiate between these two terms? It's because Green Report did a survey, and I think it was earlier this year, that 46% of people who are following any sort of influencers, celebrities, content creators, whoever, prefer everyday people. They're more drawn to authenticity. They are more drawn to someone who can relate to, who they can see themselves in, and only 10.3% prefer celebrities who are like on that pedestal, or there are those rich and famous and living the extravagant life. And then there's a 36% mix of people who are like drawn to basically everyone when it comes to famous influencers and content creators. But 36 compared to 10% is a stark difference. So that's why we're differentiating in this. Also, it's important to note that Instagram business pages, when you are a business on Instagram, mainly, you have a chance of having the 5.8% organic reach of your existing follower base when you're doing the regular content, like the stories, the feed posts. We're not talking about IG Reels because we don't have the exact numbers as of yet, although there's been some report recently. But yeah, we'll be talking mostly about the stories and the feed posts in this presentation. So 5.8% as a chance of reaching your existing follower base compared to Well, a lot. When it comes to creators, the lower numbers of followers they have, the higher the chance that they will reach more of their existing follower base, right? When it comes to like micro nano influencers, it's 16 or 12%. When it comes to feed posts, story posts reach, I don't know, 6-8%, right? But it's still more than 5.8. The more followers these influencers or creators do have, the less chance of actually attracting most of them, right? The percentage falls. So there's, when you're creating a campaign with a influencer or content creator, there's a really important part of the entire strategy and the brief, where you need to decide how to spend your money, right? Those small ones are the most authentic, but also the most cheap, right? But when you go to the more followed influencers and content creators, not only the price tag grows, but it doesn't grow linearly; it grows exponentially, right? So there's a chance that some middle ground, like micro mini influencers, can be a much better money spent than going for celebrities or influencers over 100,000 followers when speaking about Instagram in this instance. Also, the influencer marketing market size, or the content creators or creators marketing market size, has been growing a lot in the past years. We have some data since 2016 coming to 2021-22, and some expectations for 2023. Right, with the current situation in the macroeconomical world, it's complicated to determine perfectly, but we can look at the past and see that it's been growing, and we're talking about billions. Right, this is the sheer size of the market in billions, like 13.8 billion dollars when it comes to influencer or content creator marketing, spent in 2021 only, right? That's a lot. And when the money is, there's probably opportunity as well. Or there's a chance that your competitors are there and you are not. Therefore, why we're doing this presentation. Also, experts predict, to be honest, this claim was made before the current macroeconomical situation, but they did predict that the marketers will collectively spend more than $4.5 billion on influencers by 2023, and that's talking about like only the marketing spend, not like the marketing ad revenue they're getting as well on top of those branded integrations, right? Also, businesses are making 5.2 or more than $5 for every $1 spent on influencer marketing. This is a metric we call ROAS, or return on ad spend. So the ad spend here being the content creator, the influencer, and like 5 times ROAS is a good ROAS, but it gets better. The top 13% collaborations achieve more than $20 for every dollar spent. That's a huge opportunity, and claiming that this was done by Influencer Marketing Hub in 2021, there's a chance that these data have been changed since that, but it's still a promising land and land of opportunities to where to spend your money, but also where to get the money back from. So we've said why the creators and influencers do make sense, at least to have them in your marketing mix. Right? Let's talk about where you can find them and where you can utilize them. All right? We've been talking about feed posts and Instagram posts. So Instagram is quite self-explanatory, and it's a no-brainer why it is mentioned here. Instagram being formerly a feed post platform or the photo post platform. Currently, they're trying their best to compete with TikTok and YouTube Shorts for that matter. And they can be, or it can be, also named the most versatile network when it comes to creators, because we have the photo, the feed posts, we have the stories, but we have the IG reels, which are like a complete wild west compared to what we had there before, since the IG reels have the best organic reach when it comes to all of the other formats when it comes to Instagram. And also there's the live video, which also provides opportunities for the brand integrations. So Instagram being the most versatile one. Then there's the TikTok, the foreigner in social media world and social marketing world that Instagram is trying so hard to beat, but so far it wasn't really that successful. And TikTok came in like a storm and is the number one downloaded application in all of the app stores, play stores all around the world, and rightfully so. It offers also even the more organic reach than the IG Reels that Instagram came with, and yeah, there's an opportunity. I'm talking about opportunity a lot, but there it is. Also, there's YouTube, which is almost the exact polar opposite to TikTok. TikTok being the most authentic one, where your video made in Adobe Premiere or After Effects will probably not get as a good reach as a video made with your selfie camera and like some filters and text on, right? And on the opposite, we have YouTube, where the production really sells. It's the most, I would say it, you know, senior or adult in this term, network that offers the space and the reach for creators who are good at what they do. They know what they are doing. They know how to create content professionally. They have teams, editors, script writers, camera people, and also managers, right? So it's the polar opposite to TikTok, but I'll talk about it a bit more. Why it's not really like choosing between TikTok or YouTube, and why it's more complicated than that. Also, another part that YouTube potentially can cover is live streaming, but Twitch has its own community, its own vibe, its own culture, I would say, right? It's solely live streaming. So if you do a branding integration with Twitch creators, it only lives in that moment. Yes, then there might be a video on demand as an archived one, but it will not really have that much of an impact compared to video on demand on YouTube, right? But rightfully so, and truth to them, the live streaming there works better when it comes to branding integrations than on YouTube. And then there's the problematic trial, the OnlyFans, the social media marketers are trying to act like this is not a social medium or social media network, but it is, and it also offers opportunities when it comes to branded integrations. We'll talk about it later. Let's get to the start and the beginning with the Instagram creators, right? Who are they? What can they offer, and why you should consider them, right? So these creators know their audience and their strategies probably the best, maybe compared to YouTube. They are on the same par because Instagram offers better analytics than, let's say, TikTok or Twitch for that matter. And these creators often either start on different platforms. They might have started on TikTok, they might have started on Vine back then, they might have started on YouTube, and they have Instagram as one of their channels. There's a lot of creators who are creating solely content for Instagram, but it's not that uncommon for the creators to have different channels as well on different platforms, therefore having more experience, right? They know their strategies. They can potentially tell you their numbers. It's not as fluctuant as it is on TikTok, let's say, and you can expect what you can get for the money you're putting in. Also, there are countless tools that can compare the engagement rate or the organic reach of certain Instagram profiles compared to other Instagram profiles. So if you're deciding between two Instagram creators who to go with, you can compare their numbers and compare their prices and therefore decide. And also, as mentioned, Instagram is one of the, if not the most versatile platforms. The Gen Z, the current generation that will be uh, the strongest when it comes to purchasing power in, let's say, a couple of years, are very oriented on mobile, and YouTube experience on mobile is not as good as it is on TikTok or on Instagram, right? So here, Instagram being the more versatile platform than YouTube offers a lot of opportunity for branding integrations in a lot of types, right? And should be definitely considered. As mentioned, there's the opposite to to Instagram and Instagram creators, which is TikTok, which is super heavy on authenticity and also has, as mentioned, the best organic reach, which may cause in a lot of times when it comes to creators, overnight fame, right? It's very common for the newly and freshly created content creators, or famous content creators, famous influencers, for them to be coming from TikTok, where they had a video that shot to 100 million views or so, right? So the overnight fame is a really big part of the TikTok community, or the TikTok culture, and usually ends up with the one night overnight fame. But not in all cases, right? There are exceptions to every rule. But also, as mentioned, they are very authentic, and they very praise themselves for being authentic. So giving them freedom when it comes to the branded integration is, that's the key, right? You cannot really force them to read scripts. You cannot really force them to place the product in the view, so it's unlike their normal creation or normal content they would push. Therefore, it's complicated when it comes to brand integrations. Also, as mentioned with the overnight fame, these creators are often new to the business, so they have no strategy, they have no team, no managers often, right? If you are not aiming for the top of the top, and therefore they cannot really tell you how the video will do, how it will perform, if it will be success or not. There's a chance it might not be, and if they price you based on their famous TikToks or those overnight fames, it might not be really good return on investment, right? Here's an example of how the authenticity beats the scripted part, right? Prada, as the brand, you all know it, sent couple influencers Christmas decorations in the form of balls, right? And there's been a trend which Prada swears to not make um, on their own, or not being scripted, right? Where these influencers and content creators are opening their gifts from Prada with the Christmas decorations, and they fall out, they break, and they don't know how to react. The one on the left was a TikTok. The one on the right is a TikTok live, right? So there's been a lot of people seeing this. There's 80 million views on these two, just these two, and there's plenty of these cases with more than 20 million likes on these. So people have been exposed to the Prada branding, the Prada product, without Prada actually intending to do it this way. But it worked because it's so authentic that it wouldn't work on any other social network, potentially and probably. Also, there's YouTube, and as we call it, it's the cradle of creators. They've been exposed to brand integrations the most. Uh, they started as shout outs, like shout outs to such and such brand for sponsoring this video, coming to very complex and intricate brand integrations, as you can see on the right. Uh, Also, they have the most experience. They have teams, they have agents, they have editors. They can do very, as mentioned, complicated integrations, and it looks nothing like a TikTok brand integration with a product placement in the photo. So, and also, they do need creative freedom. They might be professionals compared to others. They might have teams, but they still need their creative freedom. Mentioning YouTube, there are also live streaming platforms, as we started with the Twitch, right? These brand integrations are unique. They are live. Scripts do not work because these people do need to understand your product perfectly. They do need to understand your vision, your what you stand for as a brand, and they need to be aligned with it, because if they are not, there's a large room for error, right? And also, streamers are not using just one platform. Since the stream lives only in that moment, they usually have YouTube, they usually have Instagram, they usually have TikTok or Discord or whatever, where the cross platform promotion can move to. Here's a good example. I'm sorry for the visuals, but this is Ludwig Agren, one of the biggest Twitch streamers that recently moved to YouTube. And he was showing on his regular everyday stream how he commissioned one creator to create a Xbox controller with a scrotum on it for the player who has the biggest balls. And just as he was mentioning this, which is slightly not safe for work, he noticed in the right corner that there was pop-up from Simple Mobile, and that's when he realized It was a sponsored stream with overlay and everything. He had this message that he was meant to convey and talk about how it's 5G compatible and it's really cheap. But he got completely, cut out of what he was doing, what he was working on, what he was meant to say, because he got lost in the stream with the Scrotum Xbox controller. This can also happen. It's really unpredictable, but this spread as a viral afterwards. So there's a high chance that even if it goes wrong, it might go the right way as well. And also, sorry for the visuals, but there's a chance of using OnlyFans as the brand opportunity, right? For those of you who don't know, although I dubbed it, OnlyFans is a platform where fans are paying for the paid content or blocked content for or to the creators they want to follow and want to subscribe to with money. And it's been considered as the ad-free platform. But Amaranth, who we have currently on the screen, who's also Twitch streamer who started on Twitch and broke every rule that was possible with bending the meta, bending the tactics, right? Like she cannot be in bikini if she's not near the surface of water. So she brought a hot tub into her room, and she cannot do sexy movement without it being for a game or whatever, like sexy dance. So she started playing Just Dance in a hot tub in her room so she can be in bikinis and sell more subs, right? She's utilizing OnlyFans really well, and she's one of the pioneers of branded content in OnlyFans content. So don't be ashamed and don't be afraid. Fortune favors the bold, and there might be opportunity for you on OnlyFans as a brand opportunity as well. Right. So we've said what the differences between these platforms are, how to find the right creator for you. The answer is there's potentially and probably not the one right creator for you. It will usually, and in most cases, will be a combination of marketing mix activities with a combination of creators and a frequency of repeated appearances with these creators. But as was mentioned, like those nano or micro influencers and creators, like up to 25,000 followers on Instagram, they might have the best reach when it comes to the money. Because when you go to like creators that are above 100,000 or 1 million, you get to really high prices, and the engagement rate or the percentage still stays similar to what you get in percentage for the smaller creators. That's why for the high frequency, it might be much better for you to go with lower numbered influencers and creators. So here are a couple of examples. I'll really fly through them of how to not do branded integrations, right? If you're selling cereals or detergent, having a photo on a feed post on Instagram might not be really telling, right? If the influencer, in this case, these are influencers, not really content creators, do not believe in the brand, are not really connected with the brand, it will just be a plain photo with some, you know, sweet talk around it, trying to sell it, trying to earn the cash for this integration, and it's not fooling anyone, right? This one is even photoshopped in the last one. So how to find the right creator? We've slightly nudged on the topic with the numbers and with the engagement rate, but let's repeat that, right? Say bye bye to celebrities. They will be expensive and they will do really, not truly to believe integration. Find small creators who, uh, you will do your research, find them, get aligned with their values, their morals, their ethics, their code, what they believe in, and try to find a common ground there. If you are a, I don't know, ecological or EV, for example, company, you will want to work with someone who's a green influencer who believes in saving the climate, fighting the climate change, right? It will not make sense to get connected with someone who's into cars, but he's into petrol cars and he's a petrol head. The EV message there will probably not resonate with their audience. Also, what do creators hate? They hate too much information. If you bombard them with too much information, and you would want to tell their audience like who you are, what you believe in, what your mission is, and how you achieve that and that and got that and that prize, no one cares, and influencers and content creators hate it for that matter. Also, do not flood them with information, but also do not be really scarce on the information you tell them. Tell them what you want, what you wish for to achieve with the plan, the strategy, the campaign that you're doing, so they can be aligned with this and they can know if this should be a brand awareness campaign or it should be an activation campaign, and they should tell their followers to follow a link leave a lead or email on your website. They need to know in the process of making it what the goal is. And also, uh, don't try to bribe them if they are not interested in petrol heads, not being interested in EV promotion. Don't try to bribe them and go over the bid or go over their price, so you push them into it. They hate this behavior and they will not do it anyways. uh, all right. And also, they hate a lot of stakeholders. So have one person who will be in charge with communication, and do not flood them with other people as well. How to brief them? As mentioned, tell them the plan. Uh, don't wait on feedbacks. Don't stretch the feedback rounds to weeks. That time is long gone. Be very agile and be very in the moment when it comes to going back and forth for the content approval. uh, and also, don't flood them with information and logos and materials and scripts and anything, right? This is it. No one cares. And this one is slightly inappropriate, but do not pee on a pregnancy test if you are hoping to find out if you're COVID negative, right? There needs to be alignment when it comes to expectations and the outcome, right? If you are working with creators and you need help with the brief and you need to know how to brief them, there's no perfect brief, but we tried to get close to this with the brief that we've created. If you go to contentino.com/creators, you might download a free brief that might help you ease the pains, because there's a lot of pains, right? The entire process is long and curvy. You need to have strategy and goals and plan. You need to create the brief. You need to find the right creator who's aligned with you. You need to make the deal. You need to get the brief approved, and then the content creation starts. That needs to get also approved from you. There needs to be the back and forth. Then it needs to get published, and then it needs to be reported. It's a long and curvy road, but we can help you with the last 4 points, because as the whole workflow process can be messy, right, between creators and agent and agency, then coming to brand. We can get past and rid of this with Contentino, where the approval process is very straightforward and all in one place. We call it the single source of truth when it comes to approvals. If you're interested in taking the three main takeaways from this presentation, it definitely should be the authenticity is more important than followers, right? So do not look at celebrities that are 1 million strong on Instagram. Look for the small guys who are really passionate and really authentic to the topic they are talking about, and they are aligned with what you want to achieve and who your audience is. Do not do over detailed briefs. One A4, one US letter paper size, right? That's it. And don't neglect the approval process. That's the key one. If you're interested in the approval process with creators or with agencies, that's what we do. Here's a little present on top of Anton's gifts. You can go to contentino.com/teamwork, and on top of the 14-day free trial, you will get 2 months for free, and it's up to you what you do with them. This been a slightly longer presentation. Thank you for your listening and attendance. And if you have any questions, I'm free to answer them.
Mark, thank you for great speech, especially jokes. I loved gifts. I love presentation, and jokes were really perfect.
Thank you.
We have just few questions. The first one was about the presentation. Yes, the gifts were perfect, but some numbers and digits were blurred. So guys, don't disturb. We will send all presentations to all attendees. If you just don't register, go to skillsbooster.net and register. We will send all these presentations to email. Mark, we have the usual question about influencers. I know that you maybe answered them many times, but how to connect awareness we get from influencers and money? How to measure the efficiency of influencers tool?
It's getting more and more complicated, right? So in the times where the cookieless world was not really the case, it was really easy to track the referral link. So you would just give them a simple referral link, and it was how many clicks and how many conversions you had out of it. Nowadays, there's a walkthrough or a walk around over the cookieless world where you can give them a promo code, like for 10% off, 5% off, and you can easily track this even without the referral cookies. So that's one way how to do it. If you're doing only brand awareness, it's easier to, if you have other brand awareness campaigns, schedule them so they don't collide with each other. So we had 1 month, especially dedicated to content creators brand awareness campaign, and you can see up spikes, down spikes, and trends in visitors on your website, or lead them to a specific landing page where you can track the traffic more specifically. So that would be my advice in this case.
And one more short question. You recommended don't take the macro influencers with a lot of followers, but find the right influencers with like nano influencers with a couple thousand of followers. What may be the three main tips how to do it?
How to find them, or how to
How to find them?
No, I would go. It depends really, like on what platform you intend to work with them, right? Most of the numbers in my presentations were from Instagram. So on Instagram, it would be through hashtags, right? There are certain
Mhm.
hashtags to certain topics where you can find these influences from. Do not click on the hashtag and go to the top five, right? This is more of a research stuff and research phase where you, over a certain time, you need to look at them, and if they're continuing to post for the same hashtag, if they are like the niche specific creators, or it was a one-time occurrence, right? And then select 5, select 10, shoot them a message. Don't be really corporate strict, and be like, hey, I've seen you on Instagram, we like what you do. Maybe shoot them a DM, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be an email. Tell them you like what they do and that you have an offer for them if they will be interested to collaborate. They might be not. You'll never know until you ask. So I would shoot for the masses, but like pick couple that makes sense for a longer campaign. Also, very important to know, I'm not really sure if I mentioned it, do not do like one-time campaigns, right? So one-time story or one-time feed post or IG reel appearance. Do a more frequent campaign that you can now afford because you saved money on not going for the celebrities, right? Who are like in the 5 or 6 digit numbers. And you can go for the smaller creators and spend more on them, but you push up the volume with the frequency.
Mark, thank you for your great speech. Thank you for answering the question. Unfortunately, we need to move to the next speaker. Your jokes made this conference the right way, how it must to be on the Friday evening. Have a great day, have a great weekend, and see you on our next events. Bye bye.
I'm happy, and thank you. Goodbye.